between airports and downloads would come, and I just started doing it years ago. Then I kind of fell off, but I just started putting the stuff over there. Who is that? Warriors Solutionist. Hey, Warrior Solutionist. Father God, look over Brother Arthur. We're gonna pray. Hey, Star. What is one word that describes your 2025? One word that, and Brother Arthur said love. Y'all tap the screen and make me feel real good about myself. Don't leave me out here in TikTok land by myself. Y'all know these people like y'all to tap the screen because they will shut it off. All right, Facebook and Instagram, no, Facebook and YouTube. Greetings. We're doing self-care check-in for the holidays. Let me turn this music off because it might be. Go ahead and share this for the Care Bear. If it's your first time on the stream, go ahead and let me know so I can greet you with ultimate respect. That's for everyone. We're greeting everyone in the comments. We are touching and agreeing and seeing how you really doing. Happy holidays for you guys that celebrate. For some of you guys that are, in the valley of decision about a situation, I pray God guide you in the direction that you need to go. Praise God for some of you guys are slowing down, saying, look, I'm not going to commercialize this holiday season. I'm going to sit myself down somewhere and do a hard reset. Y'all need to give yourself a whole hug because that's growth for a lot of us, right? And so as we go into this, what were we talking about? Self-care check-in. And I experience people to believe, and it self-care is whatever you believe it to be. I just be up under this understanding that if that level of self-care is working for you, right until the wheels fall off. Can't nobody tell you what self-care means for you. That's just my take on it, right? But I've lived long enough to know that self-care is a way of breathing and moving and being, and trying to buy self-care on a trip, but coming back with back to home anxiety and internal things that you're running from, it gets really expensive. Some of you guys can relate. So I am really pressing the online community, which I interchangeably call Care Bears. I came online looking for social workers, but I ended up running into a lot of people who are Care Bears. You the favorite auntie, a teacher like Leo here. We met in Georgia, in Atlanta. And when I met Trudy, who's a retired social worker in Atlanta, I met her through another young lady. We were at a conference and we had to do some things. So God was just orchestrating all of these divine connections. And Leo Teacher in here had a podcast with this amazing couple who actually retired out of Hollywood and did some amazing movies. Y'all remember, what's that movie her husband Kevin produced? It's all in his home office. Oh, some Spike Lee movies, just amazingly gifted people, right? They in their 70s. They were interviewing Leo Teacher that day while I was down there. And they were like, you want to go with us? We're going to do a recording. And the reason why I bring that up, because I hear a lot of people that believe that because you're 70 is too late, because you're 80 is too late, because you got a sickness is too late. It's all in proximity of your mindset about a situation. You get what I mean? And so when you start moving yourself in environments that allow you to open up your mindset, it changes the game, because you can only make a decision from a framework that you've been exposed to. Some of you guys are very, very curious about things, right? And some of you guys postpone your curiosity waiting on somebody else in your network to feel comfortable doing the thing. That's bondage. That's bondage. You got to be the one that say, I'm going to go out on a limb. That's where the fruit at anyway. When you're looking at a tree, a fruit tree, right? It's rooted. It's not rattled. So the offsprings of it, hold on, because the whole boss over here controlling me. This is my pager. Y'all see Coco that need a haircut? She wants to be in the thing. So you get what I'm saying? So when we thinking about why am I always preoccupied? Why am I always searching for love? Why am I always trying to get money? Why am I always moving around? Some of y'all got 15, 20 invitations for Christmas parties. How are you making your decisions? You're only one person. You need to sit yourself down and be like, you know what? I'm going to make a decision based on what my spirit is telling me to experience. Because you cannot end this year with the same behaviors that don't align with the next. That's just the foundational truth for all of us. Nobody's going to come through the door, bust through the door and save us. And when I say give as an online community, and I'm pleading with you guys, give yourself the gift of honesty for the holidays, that don't cost you anything. You don't have to max out your debit or credit card for that. You can sit your butt down and be like, why am I really stressed all the time? We all have troubles. We all have hardships. But why am I like this all the time? Why is this like a core identity? I'm attracting drama, trying to over-explain myself. And you think procrastination is about something else. Procrastination is about fear. So we don't have to beat it down. Oh, yeah, they done said procrastination is a thing. They done said this is a thing. So I'm giving myself permission to hide again. And what I know about people in the human experience, a lot of times, you shrink so small when it's time to show up for you, because you show up for everyone else with no problem with your procrastinating identity that you keep throwing out there. But when it's time to show up for you, you run. And you don't literally run, but that's, let's say, procrastination. That's running. We are too amazing as a people. And they don't support in this, they don't support in this city, so I'm finna move to Hawaii. Where is that? You are in a dry land of opportunity, and you halfway show up and tell people what you have to offer. Do you think that's gonna magically change when you move to another country? That's why when my daddy moved to Fresno, anybody that knew him the little time he was here, he's an LA native, street entrepreneur all day. He's seen a problem. People in his age group needed belts. People in his age group also don't trip on no real leather belts. They like pleather. Okay, they on Social Security. When y'all seen Big Mama budget out with her same Social Security check for Thanksgiving and feed a multitude, they know how to ball on their budget. They knew Thanksgiving was every November. They wasn't sitting up here circling their paydays after you do all the Halloween candy for some of y'all that do all of that, and then trying to struggle for Thanksgiving. And they definitely wasn't cooking on Thanksgiving Day. They was doing the basic things, right? But we don't take that blueprint, Sister Shorty. We don't take that blueprint. Well, they did all of that. You was enjoying all the food, and you also seen her in her favorite recliner, unbothered with her house shoes on. Hand her hot sauce, right? Give her pocketbook. So the blueprint that we have that we deny because we try to find another way, some things foundational just work. And then there's some things God gonna show you, okay, go this way to the right, go this way to the left, bust that U-turn real quick. You doing team too much. This ain't collaboration. This people trying to hijack your gift. That ain't nothing collaborative about that, right? And so you find yourself moving around. Some of y'all moving around trying to heal somebody. I don't care how good the sex is. At the end of the day, if the light's on or off, you got a crack, and the crack do that thing lingerie or not. Baby, we grown up in here. There's some things that you're going to keep bumping your head on. I'm going to keep bumping my head on if I don't make the decision to do something different in the areas that God give us authority over. You can't out hustle that. It don't matter how much money you making. Y'all know people that got money and lonely as all get out. Lonely as all get out. But some of y'all high energy people, they borrowing your energy. They expect you to be on 1,000% every day. Why are you operating off the vibration somebody else set up for you? People will set up an expectation of you that you never signed up for. And you find yourself, if you're not careful, trying to meet up to that expectation. That's too much pressure on you, sweetheart. But when you know better, you got a right to go do it over. So don't get yourself consumed with holiday stuff. Give yourself the gift of the truth. The truth is, I'm struggling in this area as a lifestyle. Don't blame it on COVID, post-COVID, orange face, none of that. Because that's an easy way out. If you suffocating right now, great. Because some of us is wired to move our feet in panic. If that's what it's going to take for you to start leveling up or going home, then great. Because as you notice, your friends is not answering the phone as quick as they was before. As you notice, people really, I see people I'm always notorious for that. I'm a person, unless I'm out and about, and I tell all of y'all black folks, brown folks, it don't matter, especially females, take your phone with you in these stores, of course, these kids in schools. But other than just getting up and thinking that phone got to be with you, and you wondering why they not answering, baby, they're not married to that phone. The person that's on their healing journey, because it's a journey. Well, they ain't calling me back. I see a green light. Baby, how you going to do all this investigative work on folks? That let me know your compass in life is off. You jumped off one of the freeways a little bit too soon. It's time for you to run it back. There's no judgment. It's the truth. I'm not rooted. I'm rattled. When I'm rattled, I move around every time the news says something. I go to funerals as entertainment. It's not even a homegoing. You just trying to see if whoop-de-whoop look like a whoop-de-whoop. Like that's garbage. How you gonna spit? And I'm gonna say what I need to say. How you gonna spit on the grave of people who stayed up all night and poured into you different? You gonna cut a hole in the bottom of that bag and let it just drain on out? That's disrespectful to the cause. You got to be a lifelong student. God is using your kids to teach you something, but you pressure them off. And I'm telling you, you got to make how you get down a little bit more expensive. I'm going to say it till the wheels fall off. If people is nasty to your kids, whether they grown or not. Now, y'all know we got grown kids that be having frenemies and there be stuff popping off, but it's levels to that too. But if they going to be nasty to your offsprings, why are you so surprised that they not showing up for you? Furthermore, why you even kicking it with them like that? Family or no family? Because y'all know people have situational memory. They forget, but they finna flex. We don't need to keep talking about that. You know they finna put their Christmas stuff up and you know, insecurity is what it is. It's going to do whatever it needs to be valued for the moment. That's why it's not sustaining the person, right? Hey, Kit Kat. So they have to keep doing it. That's very expensive. Don't that sound like crack when you take the hit, the high go down, you got to go hit it again? And what addict that you know when it comes to substance abuse? They always chasing that first high because that first high is like it took them ooh-wee. They never going to get that first high. This is what I'm telling y'all. Some of y'all got godparents. I got God kids. Y'all got God kids. If they parents fell off for whatever reason, we all got things going on. Why you ain't picking them up? I didn't say pick them up every day because we live in our life too. But some of y'all won't even pick up the phone for that. So that lets me know at some point you jumped off the freeway too soon and your destiny wasn't ready. It wasn't time. Run it back. Oh, well, I'm going to wait till so-and-so pick me up and put, no. This is not crowded faith. There's some things God wants you to do in between him and you. And I'm giving y'all figurative so you can follow what I'm telling you. You need to experience the peace of God as a gift. Because if the Lord say the same, there's some things we're going to bring out. Y'all know I've been posting in social work table talks. We're going to take it to another level. But there's so many brilliant people that I'm going to be bringing on. And this thing about the attachment styles with these babies that shows up in your relationships. We got a lot of special needs children. You guys don't know the signs. Some of y'all in denial. You got men that saying that it's not their baby because they don't know what to do with this autism stuff. It's a lot going on. But it's also a heck of a lot of resources that can help guide you. And not from a textbook. Hey, Crown, not from a textbook. From lived experience and street creed. I can't tell y'all, ChatGPT is out here laying things down for you to create just about anything with your smart self. And you still ain't doing nothing. You got to be rooted. Can't be rattled. Rattle people move around. They get tossed to and fro. They live for panic and they want the next news. And as soon as Diddy trial over, they looking for, you're addicted to the noise. And your nervous system is screaming, stop it already. That's why them babies be crying. Yeah, go say hi to your auntie. Them kids crying because the person's spirit is just so dysregulated. Them babies don't want no parts of it. And God is using the babies to teach us grown folks some stuff, and we shut up and sit down. Where's this expectation you set for yourself? At what point on your journey did you fall off? Go back to a time in your life where you could say, Tasha, dang, I remember when I had fire and zeal and zest for life. It wasn't about my bank account overflowing, but my spirit was up. I enjoyed things. I used to get up and window shop. Take yourself down that memory lane before the Lord cross us over. His will be done. Take yourself, not your man, not your adult kids that you hijacking for y'all helicopter parents. Cut that mess out. Go get you a whole life and trust the fact that what you poured into them adult kids is going to stick. The part that don't, just like some of the stuff that stick with us, God is going to have his perfect will be done through our children. Quit being a helicopter parent based on your insecurities. Go get you a whole entire life. If you need to find your identity after raising the adult kid, why you think I'm online? I'm not here to just be bumping my gums and stating the obvious. We got journeys on the back end. That's if you're ready. If you're ready to keep complaining about the job not paying you right, y'all see what they did to us when they laid us off. College educated. We still over here dodging Sally Mae. I'm going to either get rattled, and I was rattled for a cool minute. I'm not going to lie to kick it. But I had to get rooted and go back to the foundational things that I was able to tell clients. Oh, it's easy to tell a client that you're going to get through this, do X, Y, and Z, and ABC, turn around, touch the ground. You got this. And they got 15, 20 systems all in their life. Deadlines is unreasonable. They don't have a car, give them a bus pass. You know, and I know when you cramping back hurt, they end up telling them because they didn't go to their parenting class at 8 o'clock in the morning, they across town in the fog and the rain. And you sit up here and say, they don't want their kids back. They didn't go. That's how that system is. Like they not human. But when you rooted on assignment inside that said system, you don't go along with that program. I don't have enough evidence to confirm or deny that person don't want their kids back. It's called life. Now, if they got a habit and a pattern of not pulling it together and following through, that's a whole nother conversation. We're not even talking about that right now. Right? Because the same people that dish it out, these are the same people on the back end falling apart in their own life. And you trying to project all your madness on these people in these jobs. And some of y'all is in that space now on your jobs. You're frustrated because you're seeing some things that's unethical. You're seeing some things that you never signed up for. And you also seeing God is stretching you and wants you to promote up. But I hear, I don't want to be all in the pot. Baby, you clocking into the politics anyway. So if the Holy Spirit prompting you to apply for that higher position so you can be in some authority and you keep running from it and you think you're going to run off to another job and not really deal with that issue, that other issue going to be waiting on you at the other job, sweetheart. So quit running. Quit running. You are a leader. And a leader don't have to, showcase that they're a leader. It's just the knowing. A leader solve problems. A leader say the things that's not so popular in the meetings, not because of ego, not because of all of that. A leader gonna sit there and see who makes the decisions and how. You're not gonna have diarrhea of the mouth because frustrated people do that. And I know all about that. I had an accountability person at work. She said, Tasha, I already know this meeting finna be about this, that, and the third. I don't trust what I might say. That's just me. So I have to sit myself, Sister Angela, by the exit door, quickest thing I can do to remove myself. I don't want to be in the boardroom coming across the tables and getting my little self squeezing all through people. I'm going to sit right at that end table. Because when it starts getting foolish to the third degree on the top shelf of foolishness, I got babies to feed. I got real solid bills. I don't have plan Bs like a lot of y'all have. So I had to make a plan for me based on what I was going through and based on where I was at, regulate myself in some of these heavy environments. And that's what some of y'all need to do. You get to the meeting early because you want to see the drama. You know how people, you ain't gonna go to the meeting because I know you know so and so gonna be there. They're gonna rip a real one in there. That's people like Patty Cake, Baker's Man. That's people that's there for the drama. You too mature for that. You don't give them no audience. You know Mayweather, Mike Tyson. That's the case. Run a link and let them buy some tickets. You're gonna make a fool of yourself. Because if you don't have the right people in that space, why are you exhausting yourself? Let them, hey, Mary Russell, make them wonder, like, wow, Mary used to pop off in the meetings. Now she ain't really saying nothing. You ain't punking out. You're stewarding. And you're wiser. Because people in the workplace that's miserable, a lot of people go to work for the drama. Have y'all noticed? They go to work for the drama. And people that go for drama don't have no type of forecasting of what their future gonna be. They look at the job like a death sentence. That's all that's it for them. And they bitter and miserable. Right? And that's what you see. But if you don't see that spirit for what it is, you take it personal and then you jump in and start reacting in ways that's going to hold up your blessing. You got to get through that test because your next level, you're going to be dealing with people like that. That's why I can look at an insecure person. I can smell that spirit a mile away. We had something happen recently and the person was like, you tolerate. And I was like, it's not time to bring out what I need to bring out because I know what I'm dealing with. The old me would have popped off just like y'all. Especially when you're dealing with an older white man, the year that person was born, the way in which his brain operates, and the thing that I had to check the person on with the whole audience there. I ran into the person again, you trying to give me a whole hug. And then you want to wimp out and send another, just some coward stuff. And so if you really, really can be honest with yourself, what is really holding you back? Because I attract people that's Care Bears all day long. And the common denominator is, do you really believe that you're worthy of something more than just struggling all the time? Have you learned anything? Have you learned anything about yourself that you really didn't know that you had inside of you? A lot of our kids don't know what we've been through. They don't really know. What's holding you back from telling them? I'm talking about the adult kids. We don't want our little ones to be holding heavy stuff. That's a whole nother podcast all by itself with people that do that. That's just not right. But I pray that the gift of freedom of expression within our families and honesty and curiosity meet you where you are right now. Oh, the merch therapist. Oh, do you have the merch therapist? Let me see. I've been looking for a pen. You sell them pens? Let me see. Hold on, let me shop real quick. Let me shop, girl. I can't even. Let me see. Merch. I'm gonna have to look at your site. It won't come up. I'm looking for some gifts, some therapy gifts for the holidays. So you got merchandise, merch therapist. All right, Facebook. That what is it? Facebook. Oh, I put on here 50 plus club. 50 plus club. Who 50 plus in here? Hey, Sam. Y'all see Coco? She's sitting up in here like she paid the bills, y'all. Hold on. Y'all want to see her she needs to take a whole bath. Look at her, y'all. She like a whole human being. And I'm holding on to her like a big old baby. She usually don't like clothes, y'all, but it got so cold. Hey, the crown, how you doing, sweetheart? And what I be telling people too, one of the self-care check-ins is, knowing where we at in this season. A lot of people is trying to press themselves too much. And for some of my hustlers out here that hustle like me, we was raised in the hustle, and now you finding out the way your body's set up, you can't out hustle the pain. You can't listen. You starting to be humble because your body is saying, girl, I'm not finna do all that. Right? Hopefully you discipline in that Amazon box. In the TikTok shop, I ain't never shopped in the TikTok shop, but I be hearing people get beautiful stuff in there. But when you look at it, do you really need extra stuff right now? Like, do you legit need more stuff? Like, do you legit need to be out here shopping? We had Shop Till You Drop with a lot of amazing clothes and shoes and jewelry Saturday at the church. And I mean, when I tell you it was so many beautiful things, and you got people that's willing to go shop. And everybody was like, wow, we just didn't realize how blessed we are with all this stuff that we don't even wear. Right? So when you start getting yourself tempted to spend, maybe you just bored. Maybe it's just a habit that we got to interrupt, because it ain't going to make no sense if we're not a good steward over what we have already. The increase going to be pressed on pause. And some of you guys need to save up so you can take yourself on a trip, a solo trip. Get yourself in a different environment. Take your social media fast. This social media ain't going nowhere. Baby, when I was off for 45 days, I came back and the app gave me all kind of people I'm following. I'm not going to let these people worry me. Hey, greater beloved, I'm not going to let these robots outthink me and get me all bogged up, baby. It assigned me hundreds of followers. How can I follow anybody and my whole account was deactivated? I'm not going to research that. That's not the brain power I'm going to learn to an app. Are you kidding me? So when you think about, hey, Queen, when you think about when did I lose my zeal and my zest? At one point in my life, I just fell off. And go back to that and go pick up the pieces that fell off that belong. That's the gift that keeps on giving. If by now, if the Lord see fit for all of us to cross over to 2026, you're going to ask yourself a question. Is it going to be a new year or just another year? That's just it. If it's going to be a new year, what am I looking forward to? How am I preparing now? There's nothing too hard for God. If you go into the wrong faucet trying to ask for water to come out, nothing but toxic coming out of it, you don't have to keep going where you're not getting fed. What are you really afraid of? You already feeling lonely. So the 2% somebody giving you going to water your destiny on that? No, go up a little bit more higher with your expectations. Not with other people, but start with yourself. It don't matter if they get you think you better. If you moving in the destiny God predestined for you, you won't slow down long enough to hear it. The person that try to run it to you, you going to cut them off at the knees. Like, I'm not trying to do that. That is why you put people on timeouts. They are very, very effective. They're very effective. Watch how your blood pressure be better. This is what I do. When I have people in private practice and they come in and we look at who needs you and who feeds you and what feeds you, it's always off kill. It's never balanced. It's more people that need you and you have a preconceived expectation that they need you. If you poured in somebody all that you got for 20, 10, 5, 8 years and nothing's sticking for them to run the play, we hustling backwards at this point. That's just like you teaching your baby how to walk. And he 13 or she 15, 18, 30 years old. Why they not sitting on your hip like when they was a baby? Because you gave them the play. When they fell down, you helped them back up, right? So that's an easy illustration. Well, Tasha, I'm not going to be carrying that grown boy on my hip, but you carrying him in your heart in a way that's crippling you and him. You gave him the blueprint. You gave her the blueprint. You gave it to him. Now you want to be, listen, it's so much, but it's really not so much. It's all in perception and proximity of how you give yourself permission and sign your own permission slip with the sense of urgency that our kids did when they needed to go to the zoo. And Ms. Jenkins say the permission slip had to be signed and it has to be in by the due date or they not getting on that field trip bus, right? Little kids could forget all their math, homework, science projects, everything else. But when it's time for them to go on that field trip, what did they do? Mama, daddy, they in the car. They listen. They don't care about nothing else. They had a sense of urgency because they value going on taking the trip. What do you value right now for you? Some of y'all don't know how to even live because the kids is grown. That is a process and adjustment. You know that by now, so what we gonna do about it? Some of y'all need new friends, just one or two. That ain't on that old hype and stale conversations. Don't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna say you have time for what you want to have time for, but you got to establish what season you in and what you're willing to take in or not. Because I'm not from the framework that we're supposed to wake up. God didn't wake us up every day just to be out here struggling and surviving. You don't have no money, but yet you on Amazon all day shopping. And everybody in the group is doing the same thing. So can't nobody hold nobody accountable because that's just how y'all get down. And you do that year after year after year after year. And then you raise a kid. Let's just break this down. Then you raise kids. And maybe one or two of them come up where they very, very responsible financially. And I see this happen in family dynamics. You want to take that adult kid and they discipline with finances, just as an example. I'm not talking about a specific person. I'm talking about a behavior. So stay with me. And just because a social worker boss, and just because this particular kid that's now grown is mature, and maybe this particular kid is really doing name exchange for the holidays instead of trying to get everybody a gift, some parents try to hijack that kid and make them believe, and I'm talking about adult child, make them believe that they're supposed to go help their brother and sister. Do y'all think that's right? Comment in the comments on both platforms. Let's talk about it. Do y'all think that's right? Do you think it's fair and equitable? Do you think because one of the kids or two of the kids financially disciplined, just for an example, and you as a mother, because y'all know some of these parents, I ain't going to pick on mom. We're just talking about behaviors of parents and the pressure that you put on the kid, adult child, to go rescue the other siblings. Some of y'all was raised with that. Performance-based praise. Buy all of this, you the favorite auntie, buy everybody school clothes, do this, do that. And you like, wait, I don't know what love feel like with just being me, like just being. And I have to keep doing it to feel like I'm the favorite auntie or the uncle, right? And that comes with you on your birthday. So what happens is the kid that's disciplined in that area, for example, they scared to share their wins. Because the whole idea is I'm celebrating my savings goals or whatever that is. All of a sudden, other people can mismanage their stuff because I'm supposed to bail them out. And if that particular adult child set a boundary, this is just an example. These are the people we hear saying they the black sheep because everybody in the get along gang to the right side Oh, they know they got that job, they engineering job, and they know they could do this. They know they sister brother on hard times for the 100th time, by the way. They only tell part of the details. Y'all know how they go. So here this person feeling lonely and isolated. I'm scared to share my wins because I got to keep. This not about being stingy. It's stewardship. And some people have to hit rock bottom. Because I know some people, they just not going to give up their Temu. I mean, not their Temu, but their Amazon shopping. They not going to, like, if that's the way that they tap out and just shop, you got stuff all in the house with tags on it and stuff like that. And I just be wondering, I say, Lord, please slow us down. We out here sleep with our eyes wide open. Send your help. Because we got more and more kids. They getting 18 and they leaving. Like they not trying. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not saying it's a universal truth. But young people are tired. They don't have a lot of wise counsel, they saying. I'm not saying all of them because I don't know all of them. It's what I'm experiencing over here in Central California. When we're having my friend do groups with young people and we get in the heart and the headspace of them and they're exhausted. Going home is not rest. It's always screaming and hollering. And they hear that at school. But yet, they don't know what to feel. Because you finna go way out and give them some gifts. So they hold on to that. But Christmas only come, once a year? And then they got to wait till their birthday. So the internal love and acceptance and fully presentness, it goes dormant, yes, again. So we overcompensate. And then you go get the second job and then you Uber Eats and DoorDash. But yet you won't break up with Amazon on the level you need to. That's that busy trap. I've been there one too many times. So I'm not talking at you, I'm talking with you. Stop the madness. Who do you hang out with? What does your last 2 or 3 text messages say about you? Are they pulling from you? Or are they, hey girl, Sharon, how you doing? I just thought about you, girl. I don't want nothing. There's not no fake check-in and then turn around and follow up with another thing, want me to do stuff. The Lord put you on my heart. How you doing? And if you automatically, if you good, praise God. But if you are automatic, girl, I'm fine. That's just the auto answer. Because some people just, if they are going through stuff, they just don't know how to put a word to it. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why when we discern in our spirit, Lord, put it on my heart to go give this person a hug and check on this person. It don't matter if they don't check the phone, the voicemail. But if you feel it in your heart to check on that person, if you know your sister or brother or whoever in the family toxic, and you know you got nieces and nephews up under that same heaviness, you're more mature and wiser. So you know your niece and nephew over there struggling up under that spirit at her house. Call your niece and nephew. Sow seed. Nephew already, you ain't gonna sit there and slice. I mean, depending on the age of the child, you could be truthful. But we, like the little people, we're not finna bleed on them like that. But that preteen that know what the deal is, and they saying, Auntie, I see why you don't pull up for Christmas and all that. I see. And they made you out to be the black sheep or whatever they want to describe you to be. You just bring them back to the cross. Nephew, it ain't about your grades. Your grade in life, dealing with that basically is a whole A in the book of life, okay? Because we don't want nobody prematurely offing themselves for something that we can prevent. You've been dealing with that toxic behavior in the family at all the family functions, the reunion, and y'all need to quit having people dress up their mental illness. Mental illness has been around. Just like that man, what's his name, y'all? Up in Hollywood, the whole son done stabbed his parents up. I ain't even read into the case, but I'm saying, like, y'all know how we do. I'm saying, like, was the mama, the daddy in the other room? Because I'm thinking, like, when somebody use a banger, I don't know, I have to talk like that for the app, so it won't be like try to violate me. But if they taking a banger, it's like boom, boom. But these people are starting to go back to, I think when my daddy and them was coming up through the pool hall, it was common for them to have a knife. That was the thing back then. They would slice you, they'll slice you like a whole chicken, okay? But they say, and we never know who they is, right? We just do all the broken English or whatever. But they say, this boy, young man, stabbed both of his parents to death in their house. Now y'all know I'm the one on the scary movie. I always tell my friends I'm the one in the scary movies that'll get ate up by the boogeyman because I'm a panicker. I got CPR certified and all of that. But if something popped off that I have, everybody know, I go into freeze. Like I'm not the one you want to be with because I know me, I freeze. When we had the house fire and other little things pop off, my body freeze. It's always one person that know it's a calm in the storm. They get everybody together. That's what Rob is good at. He like orderly. Let's go. I'm sitting there. I will get ate up by the boogeyman. So when I heard about this couple, this God bless their souls, because now the sister them done lost the parents, the brother, and now they done put his court date to January. Y'all know the court calendar is going to shut down for 2025. I'm saying like how that ain't even like that's not even important. I'm just telling y'all how my brain was thinking. Like, was they together? Like, I'm thinking like I'm jetting up out of there if you know if he's stabbing up the daddy. And I don't know if he caught up to the wife. I don't even know. That's not really important. But because we lost a social worker in San Francisco up the freeway to stabbing at the AIDS clinic in San Francisco on the 5th, our whole social work community all across the country is having conversations about safety parameters because the sheriff was called to the hospital for safety for the doctor. Follow what I'm saying? The doctor had been threatened by this 31-year-old patient at the AIDS clinic on the 6th floor. That's the AIDS. They treat AIDS patients on the 6th floor at the Zuckerberg General Hospital in San Francisco. So from what I read, the sheriff who was on the premises was there for protective measures for the doctor. And that was relevant because apparently if the sheriff wasn't there, this social worker that's 35 years old that went to work, my God. And this is what we were saying, a lot of social workers, we still having this conversation. The article went on to say that they have been requesting safety doors be put up. A lot of times for some of y'all that work in the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary teams with the doctors, the nurses, the clinical social worker, who else? You have a rehab therapist, you have a physical therapist, an occupational therapist. That's very common when you're in the medical setting, right? And so typically in those settings, when all else fails, they really, really lean on social workers to go out. I don't know what happened if he was there to see the doctor. It's not even like at the top of my priority to understand that, but he didn't make it. Apparently they airlifted him, got him, in critical condition, surgeries, but that 35-year-old social worker is gone. I want to say December 5th. Went to work. So now we are going to work and not coming home alive. You got social workers across the country going into these home visits trying to protect babies. They don't have no mace. They not packing. And some of y'all got family like anybody else that know that they high risk to have their kids. Why we got to wait till the system jump in? While we packing all these other gifts, give each other the gift of the truth. Y'all fighting in front of these babies? That's a deal breaker. Y'all want to beat each other head in like Bobby and Whitney? Do what y'all do. You do it in front of these kids, that's a whole violation of the penal code. We not having it, period. You don't need to go to no Christmas party with eggnog with the grown-up juice in it. That's the problem now. But you want to wait until it crashes. And then you got this old raggedy government system. I don't know what they're going to let me say on here, but I'm going to speak it anyway. You got this old raggedy system that was never designed to raise our children, capitalizing on the vulnerabilities of our breakdown, ordering you to manage in anger, and you going to sleep because you on your doggone phone. And then you want to be mad at the one that got the boundary and took 20 years to get a boundary. Let's say they not dealing with it. Go back to sender. I work like hell for my healing. I'm not signing up for it. You see? That's what we're dealing with. That is what we're dealing with. So the minute you start being honest and truthful about where you are in the scope of life, the crap that you're taking off people for whatever reason, go in the inner courts and figure out, why am I dealing with this foolishness? Why am I giving everybody and their mama access to me when I work hard like hell to get my peace? Why am I always moving around and scrolling life when it's a whole beautiful life out there? It's sticky in this world. This ain't nothing new under the sun. But what part of life you gonna look out the window in? The disparities day in and day out, that's enough to make you insane. Find some joy in the midst of the stickiness. I'm not talking about fake joy, fake positive. No, we ain't doing that, because life on some people's hands and a lot of our journeys, it feel like it's suffocating us. That's where you go get Deborah and say, sis, I need to borrow some of that good energy today. Pray for me, girl, because I don't know. Go with me to the doctor. I'm scared, or whatever, you know? But if you sitting up, I just want to be the strong woman, super Kate. I know they got their own problems and burdens. I don't want to bother them. Do you know how many people I've talked to down through the years? They had no idea their family was going through that because a person that's sitting there said they didn't want to be a burden when they had a whole room full of resources. If only they knew. Don't let pride and ego get in the way. Do not let pride and ego and I'm a strong woman. If you need help, you need help. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We're not talking about when hard times hit, right? We act like we know. We're not talking about either that the person that you connected to is always in crisis, because we're not carrying that either. That's why you have to have the spirit of discernment to know, Lord, direct me on how I'm supposed to guide. When he say call nephew, it don't matter if nephew phone ain't working. Be obedient. I hugged the lady today because in my spirit I was led to hug her yesterday. I seen her briefly, and then I ran into her today. I had to stop what I was doing because your memory, that's what the enemy tried to do, that spirit of distraction. And we had the best, rich hug. I've never hugged this woman in my life. But it was a really good, rich hug. Not only did she need it, but I needed it too. You see through that? And that's the gift. When we're talking about the reason for the season, hallelujah. What is it going to take for me to decide tonight that I'm going to get back and I'm going to run this race? I'm going to run this race. I am going to run this race until you say I'm finished. I'm going to run this race. And if you run it according to what he's telling you to do, you will not get exhausted. Exhaustion comes because I'm trying to run it in Sister Weather Wise shoe size. I'm trying to run it in Janie's strength. I'm trying to run it off my husband that's getting a bonus on the job. You're trying to run it in a lane that's not fit for you. And then you write yourself off because your feet don't fit in theirs. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. So how are you really doing is a question before we log off. How are you really doing? I want to say, how are you really being and feeling right now? And you don't have to say it out loud. I'm one that say, consider asking yourself these Um, called self-discovery. So we're gonna wind down. It's 9 o'clock. Mhm. I- I'm going to, and that's a whole message